Good morning. Let's start back on Matthew chapter 5 and the Sermon on the Mount. And we're going to start today on verse 33. It starts like this. Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, Thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. So the Lord wanted us to have an honest conversation all the time, where we didn't say anything false. We didn't talk just foolishly and not mean what we say. He wanted us to have a reputation in this world of meaning what we say. So we didn't need to swear. We don't need to swear. We don't need to swear by God in heaven. We don't need to swear by his throne, by Jerusalem. We don't need to swear by our own head, which we can't make one hair white or black. They turn white, and they're white from then on. Mine are gray. So he wants us to just let our yea be yea. In other words, when I say yes, it is that way, let it be that way. It is. It's honest. And our nay be nay. If I say no, that's not the way it was, then people can believe me because my conversation is honest and true. That's what Jesus wants us to do. He said, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. So he knew that people that go around swearing, I swear this, I swear I didn't do it. Most time that swearing don't mean anything. And it can come of evil because you really want people to believe something that is not true. Often that's the way it is. Okay, so he knew also that in our time that we would be called to court to make a testimony. And when we made the testimony, they were going to ask us to swear. But God let this be a godly nation to begin with, and people realized that Christians wouldn't want to swear, so they gave us and do give us in court an option to affirm that it is true. Yea, it is true. So that's wonderful, isn't it? Now we're going to go on from there, and it says, verse 38, ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that you resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Now Jesus is beginning to ask us for things that are very uncomfortable for us to do, isn't he? I understand. Because when someone smites you on one cheek, oh my, you just want to hit them back, don't you? Because it hurts. And you want them to stop. And you want to get them to stop. But Jesus didn't want you to do that. And he's teaching us the right way of living in a world that we're living in. A hard world. A world where the devil is raging. And he's trying to destroy everyone with violence, with sinfulness. And so Jesus gave us the only solution. The only solution to violence is turning the other cheek. That's what Jesus said. He said, You have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. That's the law. Somebody punched your tooth out, they have to lose their tooth. If they did something to cause you to lose the sight in your eye, then they have to lose the sight in their eye. But Jesus wanted us to resist not evil. But whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. We have to learn to follow Jesus. Did he get smitten on his cheeks? Yes. Did they pull his beard out? Yes. Did he call the angels down to destroy them? No. He had the power to do it. But he didn't resist the evil. He wants you also to be willing to follow his example. And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. Just be willing to lose things over standing up for what Jesus taught you to do. You may not understand. You may not like it at all. But understand, if you do what Jesus taught you to do, you're going to be happy. You're going to be blessed. You know, blessed are the peacemakers. Didn't it say back in 5? Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And he said, and whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. There are people in this world that want to take advantage of you. And yes, they'll say, you need to do this for me. Okay, you do it. And then you know they're taking advantage of you, but you go ahead and do at least 2 miles for them. I think there's a limit. Myself, I've seen someone that drove me to the limit. I told her one time, she was riding in my car, and she got in my glove box and was digging around in it. And I told her, I said, you know, I think you would take everything I have if you could. And she smiled. She knew I was telling her the truth. And you know, finally, the Lord just moved her on out of my life. Because I was trying to help her. But she was wanting everything I had. To tell the truth, she was. But the Lord didn't say you had to go 15 miles if they wanted you to go 15 miles. He said, go with them 2 miles. If they want you to go 1, if they compel you to go 1, that means almost make you to go 1, go with them 2. God wants us to be willing to be like Jesus. That's what he wants. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away. Now, we have extreme examples, like somebody coming up and saying, give me your car. Just to check you out and see if you'll do what they want you to do. I've had to say, well, you want me to drive you someplace? I will. There wasn't no way I was going to give them my car because it wasn't in their name. You know, take them up to the courthouse and give it to them, sign off my deed. If the Lord showed me to do that, I would. But when people come and ask you, do you have $1 or do you have something you can help me with? He said, give it to him. Give it to them. And people want to borrow things from you, let them borrow it. Jesus, he meant business about us following him. He meant business about us living like his word says. It might be hard. But it might be hard because you like your possessions a little bit more than you ought to. All of us. feel like what's ours is ours and what's theirs is theirs. You know, we don't want anything that belongs to somebody else, but we want to keep what's ours. But Jesus wanted us to share. He did. He wanted us to share. Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Love your enemies. It's Jesus, isn't it? Did he pray for all of his enemies? Yes. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Do you think his prayer went through? Well, of course. It wasn't just a form, neither. He was praying it from his heart. And I'm going to tell you, when you get willing to pray for your enemies, Jesus will help you to pray from your heart. You know, one time when my husband was lost, I thought of him as my enemy. I loved him, but he was mistreating me. Of course, he got saved, and he turned out to be a great child of God. But before that, there were times he seemed to be my enemy. And I would remember what the Lord had me to pray for my enemies, said to pray for my enemies. So, I prayed for Brother Michael. Well, he wasn't brother then. I prayed for Michael. I prayed for him because the way he was treating me. And you know, as I prayed for him, the hardness about it just left. The Lord let me love him tenderly, even though he was mistreating me. It saved our marriage at a time when it was in danger. Loving your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. You probably have an enemy right now. Somebody I'm talking to, and maybe everybody I'm talking to, has an enemy. It's time to start praying for them. If you don't already, pray for them. See what it does to your heart about them. I've learned that Jesus gives you power to forgive. If you'll be willing. If you'll be willing to pray. And he said, do that ye may be the children of your Father, which is in heaven. For he maketh his son, he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. His son. And it's S-U-N. So Jesus called our son, which we call ours, his. Our Father's son. When he pulls it up in the morning, you know, when our earth turns around to it, but it seems like he pulls it up in the morning. It's shining on everybody. It's shining on the evil and the good. And when he sends the rain, because it's him that sends it, it's on the just and the unjust. Because that's how he is. And Jesus wants us to be his children. He wants us to be people like that. That pray for our enemies, love our enemies. That's the way the Lord God is. He does them good. He blesses them. People that are cursing him, he blesses them. People that don't believe in him, atheists, he blesses them. Because that's the way he is. And he wants us to be the children of our Father, who is God. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? That was hard to say. Let me try it again. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? Publicans were people in the Bible that really weren't esteemed by the Jews because they were people that helped the Romans who were over them and were their conquerors. So publicans were some people that, when he said, do not even the publicans the same, do not even people that have no feelings or have no regard to religion, to the Lord. Don't they love them that love them? If you love me, I love you. But if you don't love me, I'm sure not going to love you. He said that's what the publicans do. But he said he didn't want you just to love them that love you. He wanted you to love everybody. All of them. The ones that love you, the ones that hate you, the ones that treat you bad, the ones that despitefully use you and persecute you, and the ones that love you. Love them all. Sounds like God's full of love, and He wants us to be full of love. And if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Isn't He perfect? Hasn't He loved you when you were not lovable? Hasn't He been good to you when you were lost? When you even maybe cursed His name or mistreated His people, He still loved you. And that's the way He wants us to be toward everybody. Be ye therefore perfect. Jesus thought we could do it, didn't He? You know why? He's going to help us. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect. You can hear the praise in his speech. He's perfect. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow and we'll start chapter 6. God bless you.